Hi, and welcome back to my channel. So I'm excited about this week's Catch Up With Me video, but before I jump right on in, I want to acknowledge that today is September the 11th, and the day is the day that we remember those individuals that were affected by that tragic event on September 11th of 2001. And this is truly a day that most people will never, ever, ever forget, especially if you were old enough to be to know what was going on during that time. And so I found some statistics that on that day 2,996 people lost their lives and more than 6,000 people were hurt. And so I just ask, as you move about your day to day, that you just remember those who lost their lives and also keep their families in prayer, because I'm pretty sure for a lot of them it's still hard to accept that those individuals are now gone. And so we truly, our hearts go out to those families and friends. So this week's planner set up, I do have both of them completed, decorated, and written in. Thank you very much. So just a simple layout for this week, and then this is my medium planner. Again, as you can see, I have written in this one because I told you I was going to get better with doing that. So next on my list, there are two events that are coming up in October that I need to share with you. The first one is called Band of Brothers, and I have this flyer here. And like I said, it's called Band of Brothers, and it's a day of interaction, education, and domestic violence awareness for men, by men. Notice I said for men, by men. It's Saturday, October the 7th. From 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. It's at PG Community College, Rennie Forum, Largo Student Center. Address is 301 Largo Road, Largo, Maryland 20774. This is a free event. However, you must register. Registration is required because if I'm not mistaken, you'll get lunch at this event. And so you can register at fccpg.org. And so I'll have that information in the description box. I want to encourage men that if you live in the DMV area, that you please register for this event. And then there's another event coming up on the 7th of October. And this one is called Unmasking the Silence. Here's the flyer for that one. It's called Unmasking the Silence. And the family, which was the FCC that in the website I gave you, it's Family Crisis Center of Prince George's County, presents a night of honor and hope for survivors and advocates. Again, it's October the 25th, 2017, at the Newton White Mansion. And from 6:30 to 8:30 is the reception. And let me just say the food is great because I happened to work this event last year. And then from 8:30 to 10:30, social dancing. So that is also available. It's a night of community networking and celebration with food, music, and dancing. You must RSVP. Again, you cannot just show up to this event. And this event is a formal event. And you can RSVP at fccpg.org. The cost for this event, the early bird price, is $45. I'm just going to say that this is a great opportunity to come out and mingle with other people. But if you can't come, I would encourage you to make a donation of $45 as well, because last year there were quite a few people that made donations that didn't actually come. And the reason I was working that event is because, as you know, or maybe you do or don't know, but my sister's an event planner, and she's working with a young lady who she actually graduated high school with, who puts on this event to make sure everything went smoothly. My sister's team was there. My mom and I did the registration, and you had the team set up doing various things. And so it's just a wonderful, wonderful event. And like I said, it is a formal event, so you do want to come dressed in your formal best. So you might want to, I'm going to say you do want to check that out as well. The information again is going to be in the description box, so in case you missed what I said, don't worry about it. Next on my list, I applied for a new library card, you guys, because I haven't had a library card since Jesus walked the earth in his good sandals. But I was trying to reserve a conference room for an event that I'm trying to do hopefully by mid-October, because I really don't want it to go into November. But if I have to, it'll have to be early November. But anyway, when you try to reserve a conference room through the library system, it asks for your library card. I thought, ooh, I don't have one. So I got this this email with my temporary number, and I have to actually go to the library to pick it up. So at some point in time this week, I will be going to the South Bowie Library to get my library card. So truly excited about that. So now I will have no problems trying to book my conference rooms. And next on my list, I wanted to give some clarity on something I said last week. Someone brought it to my attention. I will not call names because you know who you are. But I wanted to be clear about when I said that I was not going to get on the scale. I'm not saying that the scale is not important. It's just not as important to me at this particular time. So I want you to continue getting on your scales however often you get on them. But I'm just saying for me, I'm choosing to focus on my inches lost more so than my weight at this particular moment. And maybe by November 1st, I'll be back to getting on the scale again. But I noticed that I get on the scale, but then I neglect to take my measurements. So if someone said, well, how many inches have you lost? I really couldn't tell you because I don't know. I haven't been doing that this year. So I'm going to try something for September and October to do my measurements and then compare the inches so I can see how many inches I've lost. Not really worried about the scale for me, only because I did do my weight in August. So when I look at my August number, I can compare it to my November 1st number, and I'm still going to know how much weight I actually lost. So I just wanted to be clear about that. I'm not saying that the scale is not important. I'm just saying for me at this particular time, I want to focus on my inches. And next, so I have a new project, and I'm sorry I can't tell you guys what it is, but I have a new project that I'm going to be taking on. So I'm hoping, praying, fingers crossed that I have the material for that. I mean, not the material, but that I have it completed so that I can show you the project on my next week's Catch Up With Me video. It's just something I got into, and I think the video that I looked at on YouTube, I believe it was under the recommended section. So, so I ended up looking at it because normally it wouldn't be something that I would just look at, and I was just like, oh, I love this. And so I looked at more and more all last night and this morning. So I'm excited about this new hobby that I'm going to be taking on. So I can't wait to show it to you guys next week. Wish I could tell you what it is, but I can't. So that means tune in next week so you'll find out what it is. And I'm hoping to have it finished so that I can show you what it is. And let's see, next on my list, my updated training. So last week, my teammate and I, we did block pulls. And let me just tell you, in my personal opinion, block pulls are much harder than rack pulls. And I ended with 275 for one because it felt so heavy. Now, had I done that in the rack, I would have gotten a 275 for 5 easy. But block pulls is a little bit harder because you have to remember, whenever you're doing block pulls or rack pulls, for those of you that don't know, you're at the sticking point of your deadlift is really what it is. And so getting it off the floor, breaking the floor as it's called, for most people it's easy. It's once you get up to about your knees that thing starts to get real heavy, and you may or may not be able to stand up with it. So when you're doing block pulls and rack pulls, you're starting at the weakest point in that pull, having to start lifting the weight. And so it's just it's a little hard, but my coach only has my teammate Jerry and I doing it every other week. So this week we're back to deadlifts, pulling from the floor, and then we'll go back to block pulls on next week. So you guys, but I refuse to give up, because if you know me, I'm a powerhouse and I don't give up. So I'm gonna stay with it. So that's all I have, and I want to leave you with a quote that I found a couple of days ago, and it simply says, I actually found this quote on Instagram, and it simply says, life doesn't always introduce you to the people you want to life doesn't always introduce you to the people you want to meet. Sometimes life puts you in touch with the people you need to meet to help you, to hurt you. I'm sorry, so this is so confusing. Let me start again. Sometimes life puts you in touch with the people you need to meet to help you, to hurt you, to leave you, to love you, and to gradually strengthen you into the person you were meant to become. And this quote is anonymous. I saw that, I thought, oh, this is so powerful. I wanted to share it with you. So one more time all the way through. Life doesn't always introduce you to the people you want to meet. Sometimes life puts you in touch with the people you need to meet to help you, to hurt you, to leave you, to love you, and to gradually strengthen you into the person that you were meant to be. And again, this is anonymous, so I want to leave you with that thought. As always, I want you to go out and be the awesome people that I know that you are. Create awesome things, be awesome, and find something new to do this week. Find one thing that you can do this week that's new and try to stick with it. So don't just randomly pick something, but pick something that you can do this week that you can stick with. If being nice to people is not your strong suit, then I want you to try to do that. You know, in small doses, of course, but try to do that and then make a habit of sticking to it. Again, that's all I have. Thank you so much to my new subscribers. Thank you to those of you that continue to support me. I love you guys to the moon and back, and you know I mean it when I say it. Until next week, stay the awesome people that you are. Take care.